Nityanandam Ma Shivarupa here from beautiful Bidadi Adinam with yet another edition of Manifesting Powerful Cognitions, the Hindu way. The way that was taught to me has been revealed to me and is being revealed to me by Paramahamsa Nityananda, my guru, avatar of the century, avatar of many centuries here. So today's topic, Swamiji a couple of days ago in the satsang spoke about hard work versus smart work and how hard work is the requirement at the very basic level before any breakthrough to happen. We all think, especially in the modern world, in modern education, we are taught to think smart, and when we think smart, we can eliminate or circumvent a lot of the hard work that needs to be done. Swamiji broke that myth very powerfully, where he said, it is only when you do hard work does the right understanding for the smartness that is needed for the work to happen, to emerge. And so hard work is the critical component before anything manifests in a powerful way. Now, in a way you might say, wow, the person that is teaching us that Shakti, which is being in the space of Shiva, is more important than Siddhi, which is any sort of self-effort, is saying this, that hard work is important. And that's kind of how I started to think about it. And then this is the cognition I came to, which is the modern world where we are right now. Even if Swamiji showers all the initiations, all the powers on us, we don't receive it. We are not in a position to receive it because our muscle memory and biomemory are too corrupt. Or we won't even use the word corrupt, are too far off from the truth, from that space, from that subtle space of powerfulness and Sadashivatva that he is initiating us into. Now, until and unless our muscle memory, which is the part of us that acts, the part of us that reacts from the hindbrain without even waiting for the higher cognition to happen, or the biomemory, which is our cognitions, which are the very cognitions we base life on. So until these come along, even if we are in our depth initiated, even if in our depth the seed has been planted, it'll be too big a leap for us to take right away. And so from that space, if we try to say, let us try to do smart work, what will happen is, for a little while you may be able to sustain, but then your cognition and your muscle memory will not come along fast enough. And we are, after all, hormonal creatures, as Swamiji says. So maybe when you're up, you're doing it for a while, but then when you're down, again, you will not be able to sustain it in your muscle memory and biomemory. So, of course, the satsangs, the jnana that Swamiji gives us helps us change the cognition, and his initiations plant that seed in the depth, the seed that can catch fire when the circumstances are right, when your will is strong enough. But we do need to develop the muscle memory needed for us to continually express whatever the Shaktis that Swamiji initiates us into, the powerful cognitions that we just catch by being around Swamiji. I was reminded of this story about monkeys. The monkeys that were on an island, and there were lots of these trees with certain fruit. And, they would pick up the fruit and eat it. And suddenly what would happen is this one monkey, he figured out how to wash the fruit and eat it, in the nearby sea. And so it was easier. Of course, it was tastier. He didn't have to spit out the sand as much. And so it happened with a monkey and then a few monkeys. And they found that there was a breakthrough point where after, 100 or so monkeys, each individually or through observation, discovered that when they washed the fruit, it was easier to eat. Suddenly, it was not like the 101st monkey now washed the fruit. Suddenly, the whole monkey community was washing the fruit before eating. And I think that is what, in a way, will happen when you do hard work. When you do hard work, it is maybe a part of you first, then another part of you will come along, and then suddenly it'll catch fire. And when that fire catches on, that becomes your new reality, that becomes your new expression, that becomes the new cognition that you start living life from. It's kind of like, you know, you're trying to start a forest fire. For a little bit, you will have to nurture the fire, you will have to feed the fire, you will have to protect it until it grows big enough. And once it grows big enough, it'll burn anything. It'll burn the whole forest down. Like Swamiji says, even a banana tree can simply be burned down once it ignites and catches. So the hard work that we do is to create that circumstances. It is like nurturing that fire until it grows big enough such that it can burn down the entire forest. Initially, it may not be powerful enough to burn down the whole forest, to have the whole forest catch on fire. But when you again and again practice, when again and again, I won't even say practice, you do the hard work, because practice may be, okay, I'm doing the same thing again and again and again. When you're saying hard work, it is just an expression of will persistence. When something comes up and it seems like your very cognition is being questioned, or something comes up and it seems like your hormones are low and you don't have the energy to go behind it, again and again, just persisting, doing the hard work, again and again, manifesting with whatever energy you have, to whatever extent that you can carry that powerful cognition, just coming back, standing up again and doing it. When you do that often enough, this becomes your new reality. This becomes your new cognition, and the seed that Swamiji has planted in our depth just suddenly sprouts and it'll catch fire. It'll catch fire. I also am cognizing that the way this will happen, it's not, and this has been my experience too, it's not a linear graph. It's not like, okay, you keep trying 2 times, then, you know, the 3rd time and the 4th time and the 5th time, and you have to keep on and on and on doing it this way. No, what will happen is you will have to put in the hard work, which I will say is kind of the gradient slope. But very soon you will come to a hockey stick where the outcome that you have, the benefits that you get from your hard work, or the breakthroughs you're able to make, will simply compound, and it'll go to a hockey stick, and that is when you'll reach that breakthrough. So it is just until that breakthrough happens, persisting until that breakthrough happens. And that is how I cognize what Swamiji said. Hard work is required. In the modern day, we have become too cerebral. Whenever we are given anything to do, we think from our mind. Our mind, of course, is the most bloated component of us in Kali Yuga, in the modern world. And so we give our mind hard work, but not our muscle memory. We don't give our body hard work enough. We don't give the rest of our shariras, the rest of our components, whether it's the breath layer, whether it's the body itself, whether it's our visualization. Every part of us needs to go through that hard work before it can ignite, catch fire, and establish itself into a whole new consciousness, establish itself into powers, establish itself into our identity as Sadashiva himself. So that was a very beautiful thing that Swamiji shared, which is hard work is necessary. It is necessary to move your body. It is necessary to, you know, shovel or cook or feed, or just again and again train your muscle memory from the context of that higher cognition. Because so far we have trained our muscle memory per what society tells us, based on our cognitions of the fight or flight syndrome, which is nothing more than animalistic instincts playing themselves out again and again. Now that we have created this higher cognition thanks to the blessings and initiation of Paramahamsa Nityananda, where in that pure space of Advaita, he just initiates us, he transmits that cognition into us, such that a part of us, the deepest part of us, already carries that seed, already believes that, already has the expression of that. It's just waiting to sprout. So the hard work that we do, the effort that we put in, is just creating the right circumstances for that seed to germinate. It will germinate. It is too powerful not to express itself. So if not today, It'll germinate tomorrow and grow into a big, tall banyan tree. But when you put in the hard work, that sprouting will happen today and not tomorrow. It is that little bit of contribution that you can do before for your Sadashivatva to flower, for your Ishwaratva, for your powerful consciousness to establish itself in the body. Initially, it may seem hard, like for example, let's say you're driving at 100 miles an hour in a particular direction, and now you decide you want to go in another direction. Now, when you start to steer in another direction, there will be the momentum that you have towards this direction that you will have to overcome with force and will persistence and clear cognition. But the minute you do that, now you have the entire momentum of that 100 kilometers per hour pushing you in the direction of Sadashivatva. So hard work is the most important thing that we seekers can do. And it's almost like we've come a full circle, because you start off saying it's not what you do, it is what you carry, it is the context you carry. But once the context is aligned, it is really important to go back into the hard work and not just train your context, but train your muscle memory, train every part of you, train your breath even, to take you to whatever reality that you have decided now you want to create. So that's my sharing for today. Hard work versus smart work, or I should say it is what Swamiji says, which is only when you do the hard work, you realize the smart way to do things. You realize the smart way is to jump on to Swamiji's initiations and allow them to flower. So such a beautiful context shift that happened, and such a beautiful context it's given for all the seva that we're doing out here. Anytime you move your body, the context you carry is really what you now build as your muscle memory. So that's why it always bothers me that, you know, when you go to the gym, the modern day gyms, you see people exercising and they're watching all this, you know, news footage of bombings happening in the Middle East, or minors being raped, and such awful things that come on the news today. And the ahara that you take, what you eat, what you imbibe, when you move your muscles, plays a very important part, because what you're visually taking in, what you're taking in, through your ears, everything plays a part in the kinds of muscles you build. Really, I feel so blessed to be in the breathing space of an avatar, such that everything that I'm imbibing, when my muscles move, when I work, when I do any sort of physical activity, when I do yoga, is nothing but that powerfulness now getting programmed into my muscle memory. It's getting programmed such that now when I start to live life, that is the inertia that I live life by. So welcome all of you to experience this yourself. Come to the Bidadi Adinam. There is an inner awakening coming up in September, and of course the Maha Sadashivoham happening in December, and that will simply be one of the most spectacular ways to kind of take the rocket ship into your truth as a superhuman, your truth as an Ishvara, a God itself on planet Earth. All over the world, this transition is happening, has been happening since the shift that happened in 2012. And Paramahamsa Nityananda is the cosmos's expression on planet Earth to guide humanity to this conscious shift happening in all of humanity before we self-implode. And I know it sounds straight out of a science fiction book. You know, I've read enough science fiction, and I used to love it. I used to like just swallow it. But it's just so amazing. I find myself living in this kind of a beautiful breakthrough happening. So all my friends, family, the viewers, I invite you to come and experience it. And I can guarantee it. You will experience it, and it can be scientifically proven. It can be so beautifully understood by your length, breadth and depth. It does not have to be blind belief. So come to Mahasadashivoham, experience this breakthrough happening not just in you but thousands of people around you, and really bring your children too, because they will receive it much faster than we do, because this is what is the need of the hour for society. This is what is the need of the hour for us. God knows we've lived life enough based on what society has told us, and there's enough depression, drugs and death happening to our upcoming generation. It is time we make a shift, and that one decision that you make is what counts. Hinduism always believes that you are the source of everything around you. It is not about going out there and try to do societal good or going out there and try to feed the poor. I'm not saying you don't do it, but what Hinduism says is when you transform from inside, then the very context at which you will go and feed people will be different. And that is what will cause transformation in the world. So I invite all of you to come join me. Understand this. You have no excuse not to understand what's happening here. You have no excuse not to experience what a huge breakthrough this will give our children, ourselves and society. Come here, experience it, and then decide for yourself. Because as I say again and again from Hinduism, truth is Swayam Prakasha. It cannot be beaten down. It cannot be hidden. If you come with an open mind and experience it, you will see simply, you will follow along with what resonates with you, what is the truth. And you will discover that powerfulness. You will discover that Ishwarataya. You will discover what it is that moves you to do good to yourself and society. So I invite all of you, come to whatever program you can, come to Bidadi Adinam, do a Pada Puja if you need to, but experience this avatar who is in our midst. Experience being in his breathing space, because he's like such an amazing way for us to attune ourselves. So do come experience it at the Bidadi Adinam. Look forward to seeing all of you here soon. Thank you, Nityananda.